Tuesday Talks, and this is an even more special Tuesday Talks because this is our first YouTube episode.
Yeah,
to go along with our podcast.
Feedback about people wanting to see us live, and when we talk, like using all of our hand gestures and laughing at nothing. So here we are.
Yes.
Ready to chat with you. So
Let's
cheers.
chat.
Welcome.
All right. Grab a coffee. Come hang with us.
Or mimosa, whatever time you're listening on this
wine.
Tuesday. Let's start off with a mental health update. How you doing?
Yes.
How you feeling?
So I'm pretty good. I've had some anxiety here lately because I'm going back to work tomorrow. Very kind of nervous about that. I work in the dental field, so it's definitely a little bit more scary going back. I'm not in their mouths per se, like the hygienist and everything, but still just scary for all of us. So, just trying to pray for the other girls as we get started back on our journey. We start back tomorrow, but we don't see patients till Friday, and we're trying to get all of our up-to-date COVID, all the things that we have to do to be ready to see patients come on Friday. So we're going to be doing the next couple of days, and I have some anxiety about it. I've been really chill, and honestly, I didn't, it's one of those things. I've been out for 6 weeks, so I've kind of felt like I'm never going back to work, and now it's finally here, and now it's finally setting in, and I'm like, I have to get up in the morning and go to work. And that's a weird feeling now, which is crazy because I've never gone more than 1 week without working before, and now being out 6 weeks just doesn't seem like enough. So,
It seems odd.
so crazy. But making it, how about you? How are you feeling? What's
I'm
going
good.
on?
I'm had a couple days off. I had 5 days off, which was good after my little stretch in a row that I worked. So some good rest time. I'm gonna be honest, I took some veg time and did nothing for like 2 of my 5 days, and I
That's awesome.
laid on the couch and watched TV, watched some shows, which we'll chat about our new fave shows in a little bit. But just really taking that time to reset, recoup, re-energize. I love to be around people, but we can't do that right now. So sleep is my new best friend. So I've been doing a lot of that. But I feel good. I head back to work tomorrow too, like you. I've been continuing to work, but having a stretch off has been good. So we are getting back in the swing of life and work and trying to figure out our new balance. But
this is also a special episode too, because this is our first episode that we are recording together. Technically, we did also just record another episode today, which is with a special guest coming soon. But this is our first time being able to sit down together since we've started our podcast.
That's good.
Insane.
That's so good. It
So
is good
insane.
to be like in person. I came over and I was like, can I hug you?
Like, yes.
Is that okay? Is that allowed?
I'm a hugger, so give me
it
all
is
the
good
hugs.
just to be together because I feel like we get a better feel of our vibe together and how we work together. So that's really good. But I don't know. It just feels more personal, and hopefully,
sure.
like y'all can feel that as well. That we're a little bit more connected. But when we can't get together, we still have our good old Zoom, Skype calls, or whatever that we record on. So we'll continue to do that too. So a little transition. So kind of transition. We're still talking about COVID. So our safer at home order ends officially on April 30th. So May 1st will be our official safer at home order. It's expired, but we are starting, at least in Tennessee, a 4-phase rollout of how we will start to reopen the state and counties and stuff like that. So we're starting with phase 1, which started today on Monday when we're recording this. So what is it? Businesses or retail and restaurants can open at 50%.
50%, yeah.
50% capacity. A couple of them said parties of no more than 6. Tables are 6 feet apart. And they will move into phase 2 when there's been 14-day periods of stable or declining number of cases. So you and I have both said that this might not even go past phase 1. I think it'll be interesting to see how it turns out this week, especially.
We did just
Saturday.
have, Saturday, they announced that we had the most cases to date here in Tennessee.
Like in one day.
So it's kind of crazy that was just brought to light Saturday, and here we are on Monday, and we're supposed to go ahead and start phase 1 of reopening. And
you saw someone that posted a picture at a Mexican restaurant today.
Yes, I had a friend who I just saw it, and I told Victoria's like, he's at a Mexican restaurant. I want to go to a Mexican restaurant, And don't get me wrong, I'm so excited about going back to restaurants, retail stores, everything like that, but I just don't think now is the time. Just if we don't, watch out, we're going to hit another resurgence of this again, and it just isn't good. So,
Yeah.
But hopefully
It's going to be interesting to see. We might be in phase 1 for the next 6 or 8 weeks, but we might.
We may not even be phase 1.
No.
We may be completely back at stay-at-home order.
We
so
might. I think it's going to be interesting to see for sure. I will say, I know Spain. So Spain is second behind us right now in total number of confirmed cases, and I believe deaths as well. They're number 2 behind us. I could be wrong on that, but they have kind of reopened in phases as well. And their newest phase this weekend was allowing children under the age of 14 to go outside for an hour with adult supervision. And in comparison, the U.S. right now has over 70,000 deaths.
Yes.
Ooh, that's hard to say. 970,000, confirmed cases with 55,000 deaths. Whereas Spain, the second highest, right behind us, has 229,000. So that's a big jump. 970,000 to 229,000. But with that being said, our total number of deaths with our number is only 5% of the confirmed cases. Theirs is 10% of their confirmed cases. So that, I think, is a big difference in itself. But they found that people aren't following the rules. So even though they said you can go outside for an hour, they were still gathering these big groups at parks and such. And I think that's where a lot of our concern comes from, is it's not about everybody else, or it's not about us not following rules, it's about everyone else that's not going to follow the rules. Our mom said that growing up with driving. It's not about you being an unsafe driver, it's about all the other unsafe drivers that are out there that can cause accidents. So I think
that's true.
That's how we're going to find out is who's following the rules. There's not enough law enforcement to go around and give everyone a ticket. That's not fair to them. That's not their job. Their job is to keep us safe.
Yeah.
But people also need to be smart. So,
and we live in a world with some pretty stupid people. And that's everywhere, like not just in the United States, but if everyone would just listen and do the right thing. And I know we're all so excited to get back to somewhat of a normal routine and normal life and doing all the fun things that we love, but we also have to do it with moderation. And it's okay to go do things, like if you want to go shopping again, or if you want to go to restaurants, but still practice all of the things that you should be: washing your hands, staying 6 feet apart from other people, and try not to go out
if you don't need
a
to.
lot. If you don't need to, don't. Like, we're still needing to stay at home. It's just now they're trying to ease us into it, and I know us as Americans don't ease into anything. I feel like
we jump head
it's a good and bad thing, but I guess we'll see how all this goes, and we'll be able to update you guys next Tuesday, because it'll be a week at that point, so we'll know, are we going back to the stay-at-home order, or are we going to maybe progress into phase 2, because it takes 14 days at a time. So
yes,
we'll see.
As I said earlier, there's got to be there's a smart way to reopen the economy, because that's what needs to happen so we don't go back into a depression. But there needs to be a safe way for us to reopen society. So there's got to be a safe way to keep everybody healthy and make sure that we don't have this massive increase in cases, deaths, whatever. But there's got to be a smart way for us to be able to maintain economic stability and not do a repeat of the Great Depression. Because that happened after the Spanish flu of 1918. The war had ended, and there was a big party to celebrate, and there was a pandemic going on, and nobody thought to stay in their homes during a pandemic. They just said, let's celebrate the end of the war. And the most deaths that came from that was from the big party, was from the big celebration and people interacting with one another during a pandemic. So I just think that's, what did you say earlier about?
Well, like they say, history always repeats itself, and so clearly
inevitable.
It's inevitable. Like, why don't we learn from that? That's the whole point, is to learn from our past and to not repeat it.
Yeah.
Hence, let's not repeat it. so I don't know how many times I can say that.
Listen to your legislators. Listen to what people say. If things change day by day and hour by hour, like they constantly are, just take it with a grain of salt and try to help out everybody else. So that's my 2 cents on the COVID update. Let's do something a little bit lighter though.
All right, guys. So a little bit lighter, a few things. The first thing is YouTube is offering free movies right now. So if you have a YouTube account is free.
On YouTube.
You're watching, so you know. Listeners, you may not have YouTube. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And sorry, squirrel, my personality. Anyway, they are releasing free movies right now. And as far as I know, it's until further notice. They didn't say when they're going to stop doing that. So if you don't have the money to have Hulu or Netflix or cable or anything like that, maybe you have some internet, you can get some YouTube and watch some movies.
Love it.
So moving on with the movie theme, I want to give an honorable mention to Disney Plus for uploading Homeward Bound. It's one of my favorite Disney movies, seriously, like of all times. They finally put it on Disney Plus this past week, so super excited about that. So if you like that movie, it is on there.
Other favorite movies, drop them in the comments below.
Yes.
Favorite movies or shows.
Also, that made me think when you were talking earlier. Also, tell us too where you guys are located and where you guys are at in this whole stay-at-home order. I know other states aren't necessarily doing it the same way we are. Not everyone's, in phase one at the same time, or, so tell us where you're from. What is quarantine life for you guys? Like, what's going on? What businesses are opening? What's not opening? We would love to hear because it's very interesting to see how it affects every state so differently.
The country is going to open each state according to its rules and its phases, so everyone's going to be a little bit different. So
absolutely,
tell us what you're dealing with.
Yeah. So on the whole, movies, TV shows, we got some TV shows to talk about, y'all.
What's your new favorite?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about one that has been on TV for a while, but I just recently have come across it. Is Outlander.
Good choice. Good choice.
I love it. I'm only, I think, 8, 9 episodes in now, but I love it. So essentially, if you don't know what Outlander is about, it is about this lady. She was a nurse in the war. Gonna be honest, don't know what war.
It's definitely set a little bit back.
Back up.
Don't even give a date.
Listen, y'all, I'm really bad with history. I'm really bad. I know they go back. I know the second part timeline, what that is. That's the 1700s. I want to say they're in the 1800s, because they're definitely not the 1900s. Maybe.
She's a British Army nurse in World War II.
Okay, so that was
she goes back to 1743.
Okay. I'm really bad with history. I'm not even going to say what I was about to say, but yes. Okay.
Thank God for computers.
So essentially, she was a nurse in the war, and her and her husband had gotten married before she went into the war. So whenever she gets out, they decide to go on kind of like a second honeymoon. I don't want to ruin all the details, but essentially she goes back into the past. Time travels, and she's in the 1700s. And she's an English woman who kind of gets taken, essentially, from some Scottish men. And that's kind of where the story goes. It's very interesting. It's primarily a love story, which is why I like it, but there's a lot of history to it. So if you're a history buff, you'll love it. I love history, love listening, don't obtain a lot of it, clearly.
It does not.
But I love all of that. So that's definitely been a show I've been interested in and watching. It is kind of slow at first, so you gotta kind of get
through the 3 episodes.
Get 3 episodes down. Once you get those first 3, you're gonna be hooked. So
there's 5.
There's 5 seasons. The first 3 are on Netflix. It's a Stars show. I would assume what I'm hoping is by the time I'm done with these 3 seasons, season 4 will be on Netflix at that point, and then maybe they tend to release them a little bit after.
That's a good one.
So.
I do like that. We're about the same pace. I started a long time ago, and I just haven't picked it back up. So we're about 6, 8 episodes in. So we're gonna follow along with that. We'll let you know how that goes.
And another show, which is trending right now, is Outer Banks. We both watched it within like a day.
I literally stayed up till 5 in the morning. Sorry, Mom. I stayed up till 5 in the morning watching this show and got 9 episodes through out of 10.
Y'all, we just gotta talk about this for a minute.
It's cheesy acting.
It's so cheesy acting. The acting is not great, but it's a bunch of teenagers. I was telling Victoria, I had read, and a bunch of different people had talked about how they kind of have called it like a New Day Goonies. And I can kind of see that. It's more like a treasure hunt show, mixed with some romance, mixed with some just drama. It's a little bit everything, but it's all based around teenagers. They're so
like in the
high
Outer
school.
Banks of like Carolinas. It's like the Carolinas or Georgia somewhere. It's like on the coast.
Mississippi.
What?
I don't know. It's one
on
of
the
those.
coast.
It's on a coast, so I guess it would be Mississippi then. Why was I thinking it was Mississippi?
Again, thank you for Google.
Yeah,
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
So
It's a very again. There's some history in there too. I don't
There's
know how
history,
real
yeah.
it is, if it's fictional or if it's true.
Essentially,
It seems to be true based on this Wikipedia page, but who knows?
you never know with Wikipedia.
But it's very fascinating, and they've set it up to do a season 2, but there's no rumors right now if they are recording a season 2 or not. But
I would assume. I mean,
we're
it's
hopeful.
It's had a lot of hype. A lot of people are talking about it, so I'd
Like
assume there's probably gonna
top
be
10 on Netflix or something
Yes.
right now. Yeah.
So we're hoping that
Highly
that will go
recommend
on.
both of those shows.
Yes. So if you need something to watch it. I hate that Outer Banks is only one season.
No.
That's what Tyler, my husband, he's always like, I don't want to watch a show that only has one season because then there's nothing to binge.
It's
But-
hard when like in TV shows, like when they're originals on Netflix or Hulu, they'll release them one episode by one episode. I like things like Ozark, where you release the entire season all at once for me, and then I have to wait a whole another year for it. But at least I can binge it at my own pace and like watch 4 episodes and then not watch it and then watch another 4. You know,
Right.
like that consistency is
I
on my own
agree.
timeline. So I like that too. I agree with you.
Awesome.
What show do we not love so much right now?
Y'all. Just not dig and listen to your heart. I know we said that we were going to talk about it weekly and kind of give a play-by-play. We're both Bachelor fanatics. We love the
Big
show. We love the
Bachelor Nation.
franchise.
Yeah.
However, this was a bust. Major.
Yeah.
There's no connections, real connections, I feel like. Nobody can sing. And that's the
Everyone
whole
seems to be on the
point.
show like to hype themselves up and get a record deal, which I get it because they're all musicians.
And I get it, and that's somewhat of the point.
But I want
to
you to
make
find love too. That's why I watch it.
And I mean, I was telling her, I didn't even finish the last episode. I just can't get into it. It's trash. Chris Harrison, I'm sorry.
This one was the best. I agree.
I love Bachelor, Bachelorette. I love Bachelor in Paradise. I even really liked when they did the Winter Games. I really liked that.
I sent you that other one. It wasn't called Summer Games.
Bachelor
Pad.
Pad.
Bachelor
Yeah.
Pad was a summer version of that. Yes, I like the competition
So
style.
those are good.
Yeah.
And I guess if it's a competition style, I kind of like that. But this is just nothing.
It seems
Like-
very like manipulative.
Yeah.
Because they've given, like the last week we talked about, it was 8 women, 8 men that ended up for episode 2. And then they already brought in a girl, which they knew was going to cause drama because she knows some person's ex. I mean, the way that they've done it seems very trashy and very, undermining of the contestants. And we know that Bachelor Nation is all about the drama and sometimes setting it up and being very scripted, but just the way they did it was very conniving, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. So.
Not a fan either. Let us know what you guys think about it. I mean, maybe you like it. I don't
What do you
know
say about
anything.
what do you say about the musicians though themselves?
I was just saying, they're all, they can't sing. I mean, they don't have bad voices.
They're not bad. They're not bad singers, but they're not good singers.
Yeah, they're just
not great.
They're not great. I mean, it's not. They don't have good voices, but they're not.
They have voices, but nothing special.
Yeah, they all just sound the same. And
Yes.
I mean, I'm really sorry if anyone from the show or whoever's listening to this, but you're just not that good.
You're
Just being honest.
Yeah.
You're just another person.
I hope you
unique.
get your record deal, but I really value musicians though that have a really great songwriting skill. People on there, again, we haven't watched it because there's only been 2 episodes so far. There's another one airing tonight, but if you're a really great songwriter and you can really write these raw, authentic, emotional songs that talk about life, that is more what I'm looking for, or something that's unique about somebody.
Yeah.
But they're all right now just singing covers, and they're all doing a lot of harmonizing, which I love to harmonize as well. But
It's just not.
it's just not.
It's
It's not. We might as well just do a music show,
Right.
American Idol.
Exactly. Which moving into American
Speaking
Idol,
of,
I've said before
Tell me what
in
you
the
love about
past, love American Idol. I was so nervous about how this was going to go because I felt really bad for all the contestants because, they didn't know what was going to happen. The show did it wasn't canceled, but they just didn't know.
They shoot like what 1 or 2 episodes like in person before they really shut.
They did the
down.
Hawaii round and everything, and so this was supposed to be like now they're in Hollywood or whatever, and like this is like it, like the official top 20, you know.
Okay.
However, obviously with everything going on, they couldn't do that. So they decided, they sent every contestant the same, I mean, lighting equipment, sound equipment, everything. And they set up in their houses, and that's how they're doing it. And I was really worried because I just didn't think it was going to be good, sound good. It was so good. It was so cool to see them in their homes with their families. It was cute because they would sing, and then as the judges are giving them their critiques or whatever, their family would like run in the room and like be, you know, loving on them and everything.
That's
so I'm very interested to see how it goes. If by the end, you know, maybe they're going to be back on stage at that point. I don't know what's going to happen with the show. I hope so for their sake, because I feel like you can't really call somebody American Idol if they don't even perform on a live stage in front of people. So I'm very interested to see how American Idol does that, but I want to majorly applaud the production team because they did great, and to still making it unique, sound great, still something people want to watch. So good job, American Idol, for that, because that was good stuff. So keep watching.
Tell us who your favorites are for the season so far. If you watch American Idol, drop them in the comments.
Arthur Gunn. He just...
She already has her favorite. She already knows who's
he has been my favorite since the day he... not interview. I was going to say interview. Since the day he was trying out. I'm a big Arthur Gunn fan.
Arthur Gunn. Okay. I'll look him up.
Look him up.
Okay.
Good stuff.
What other relationships? Who people hounded on us for not talking about this one.
We're going to talk about a few relationships before we wrap this up. The first relationship I'm going to talk about is Tyler and Hannah B. I had a lot of people be like, why are you not talking about Tyler and Hannah?
Let's preface with, they had Quarantine Crew, was a TikTok account that they made when Hannah was hanging out with Tyler B in the beginning of quarantine, and they did all these funny videos, and they workout sessions live, and they did all kinds of stuff. So there was rumors that there was a little fling happening between them, which I kind of think still happened.
I think still happened.
But now Hannah's gone home.
Right.
So let's be honest, we didn't feel the need to talk about it because Tyler came out and said he's not dating anybody. Yeah.
I just don't know. Like, part of me thinks like that's legit. Like, they really aren't together. I kind of have always thought that she has a thing for his brother, Ryan. But then part of me thinks things happened there at the quarantine house, whoever's house this is. I don't know.
Some random house. Is it Jupiter, Florida that they're in? That's where he's from. Okay, yeah.
And I think maybe something happened then, and then she went back home, and then, you know, things just kind of
couldn't move in like permanently. That'd be too.
So we definitely will keep you updated if we hear anything more on the Tyler and Hannah drama. But as of right now, there is none because they are nothing.
They're not dating.
So
don't at us.
Don't add us. No, just kidding. You can add us all you want. But another relationship that I'm so
heartbroken. Oh no.
I've kept up with them since the beginning. Is Kristen Cavallari and Jay Cutler. I'm sure you guys have probably heard. It's new news as of Sunday that they are getting divorced. They've been together 10 years. They have 3 beautiful little kids together, and it's so sad. I was telling Victoria, it's like that's the things you worry about. Like the longer you're with somebody, it's like it can happen to anybody, like on any given day. And just because you've been with someone for a long time does not mean it's gonna last forever. And I'm very interested to see when it all comes out, like what happened. Watching the show, I could always tell their dynamic was a little off. It always has been. You know, we talked earlier.
He's just very monotone in general. Like, he's very just like...
It's so funny because he truly reminds me of my husband in a lot of ways. Like, I remember when the show first started, it was the first, like, episode or 2. I was like, Tyler, you need to watch this with me because...
You are Jay.
You are Jay Cutler. Like, you actually act... I mean, they really do act a lot alike. But I think the big part was, you know, Jay was this big superstar football player, and he retired. And now Kristen kind of takes the pants in the relationship. And owning companies, TV shows, things like that. And now she's the money maker and he's just at home with the kids. And though I don't know what happened, I think maybe that was part of it. You can hear our coffee going in the background. I don't know why it's going like that. But I wish them both the best. They seem like great people. I feel super invested because I've always, kind of kept up with them even before she had her show. Because let's be honest, I was a huge Laguna Beach Hills fan. I watched it all. I was like obsessed with all those shows. So always kept up with her. And Jay, he's a Vandy boy.
Gotta root for
Go
Vandy
Doors.
boys.
I hated him as a bear, but that's my So I really am sad for them, and I pray for them and their relationship moving forward. Not being together, but obviously they're still parents. So let us know what you think about that too. If that's something that you guys are into, if you watch the show Very Cavallari or kept up with either one of them, because I feel bad for them. So hopefully things will, it all works out like it's supposed to. But
I will say, based on some relationships, so we had a conversation the other day with a guest about balancing mom life, work life, and wife life, which I think are all separate lives, very much so, and like how you still maintain triangle. The center relationship that you have, or the primary relationship you have, is with God. And then once your relationship with God is solidified, then your relationship with your husband, wife, spouse is the next one. And then after that is your relationship with your kids. And so many times people put, I think, their kids first, and they lose a lot of that relationship and connection with their husband, wife, which is literally the foundation of your family and household. And so I think that's super important. And I think I was listening to Mike Todd from Transformation Church, is my favorite human. And he released in 2017 a series called Relationship Goals, which went over a relationship with Christ, your relationship as a single person, your relationship in dating, marriage, divorce, widow, like a panel of people on the team. Like, it was so cool and it went viral. And my sister Michelle just shared it with me at the end of last year when I was kind of going through a time trying to figure out relationships and romance, friendship, like a kind of mix of all the things. And I was hooked. And then he announced in January he was releasing a book, which comes out today, really Tuesday, tomorrow, but when you're listening to this, today. And it's called Relationship Goals. Mike Todd, he's fantastic. And he's now doing a sermon series with Transformation Church called Relationship Goals Reloaded. And it's some of the same things he talked about the first time, but everything is going to be like revamped, new nuggets, new talks. Alicia and I listened yesterday along with a couple other friends and Michelle and stuff. And
so good.
Wow. Like my notes section that I wrote I was going to do week by week. I have to start a whole new note. I mean, it's just so long and there's so many nuggets and contents and quotes. And he does this analogy with a car and how you need to read the manual and you need to know how it works and how it functions to really have an understanding of it. And so many powerful nuggets. Transformation Church, look them up on YouTube. All of the episodes are up on YouTube or Facebook Live or the app that they have, based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. But I think right when the announcement came out on my phone and said they were getting divorced, he was literally talking about divorce at that moment. So I've thought about sending it to them. I don't know how far along in their divorce they are, and it may do absolutely nothing.
I think you should do it.
Really?
You never know. It doesn't hurt to...
It doesn't.
I mean, but at least,
they don't know me, but...
They may not look at it at all, or they may find something from that, and then you could be the one responsible for saving their marriage. So Jay, Kristen, do you hear this?
I'm going to send it to you.
We're coming at you.
I just think that there's so many nuggets that he's talked about having a solid foundation with your relationship with Christ, your relationship with your spouse, finding those common grounds that you connected on in the first place. Our divorce rate in America is like 50%, and I think that's crazy. There's literally a 50-50 chance if you get married that you're going to either make it or end a divorce. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah. As someone who's newly married in the last couple of years and someone who's not married yet, like what makes you want to get married in that sense, knowing that there's a 50-50 chance it might end. So lots of feelings about relationships and stuff, which we'll talk about in another episode. But Relationship Goals Reloaded. Relationship Goals, the book is launching today. It's on Amazon. I know we pre-ordered it. There's a little study on the Bible app if you have that one as well. So sad for them, praying for them.
Definitely praying for them.
But yeah, so that's what we got.
Yeah.
Any tidbits that you want to share with our friends for the coming week until we meet again next week?
So, as you can tell if you're watching this, that I dyed my hair.
She's pink now, not
I'm
blonde.
pink. It was something kind of fun. It gives you something to do if you're blonde or if you have lighter hair. It's the brand Kristen S. It's a hair care line. Lauren Conrad promotes this brand heavily. And it's just a spray that you put on in the shower, and it turns your hair pink. It's supposed to be more rose gold, but they say the more wet your hair is, the lighter the color is going to be. So I decided to do mine on dry hair and then rinse it out because I wanted it pretty pink. It's already faded within a day. So it's not something, I mean, literally, I would say after a wash or two, it'll be out.
It looks pretty dang good, though.
I was very happy with how it turned out. So if you have blonde hair, go dye your hair. It doesn't last forever. I know my mom was like, Alicia, you go back to work in a day and you decide to dye your hair pink. And I'm like, you know what? My regional manager commented on my photo and said that she loved it. So
I love that. That's a good one.
So, a little something to do, or, watch your Netflix shows, check out Outlander and Outer Banks, and talk with us about it. We need more people to talk about those shows with. So.
Or if you have other recommendations for us to watch.
Yes. Let us know. Drop it below.
Some book recommendations if you're a brunette and can't dye your hair blonde, or can't dye your hair pink. My book club is reading a book called Maybe You Should Talk to Someone. We are meeting on a Zoom call finally tomorrow night to talk about it. This was our book for February, I think. February to March. That was our book. We're talking about it. It's April, almost May. It's fine. So we're talking about that tomorrow. That was a good one. It's a therapist and her journey as a therapist, and then through therapy. It's kind of funny. It's just like making fun of herself and life. So it was a good read. Definitely liked that one. And then spoiler alert for all my book club fans or friends that are listening to this, our new book that I picked tonight is going to be called The Silent Patient, which is like a psychological thriller, which is so up my alley of like mystery, psych, thriller, whatever. It's a woman that seemingly has a perfect life and ends up shooting her husband 5 times in the face. Sorry, that got really deep really fast. And she just goes silent. So I think it's like a psychotherapist who's like trying to get through to her and like figure out why she did it and what happened, and kind of a mystery and stuff too. So there's like only a 16-week hold on it at the library. So hopefully we can all get it on Amazon or something. But very excited for that. And curling up with a new book for another month. So yeah, that's my recommendation for this week. If you have nothing to do, if you're still working from home, WFH.
Oh yeah, WFH.
Alicia didn't
that was
know
a
that.
conversation. I was like, what is WFH?
Work from home.
Also, drop below too. Probably won't go into detail about this, but what you guys thought about the NFL draft this year?
I don't even want to talk about it. The Vikings had like 12 picks.
We had 13.
Sorry, they had
on the third day.
A whole new team.
Like literally, we pretty much have a new football team. It's so funny because they made a trade on the second day with the Saints, and that gained us 4 more draft picks. So we had 13 in one day.
That's insane.
Like, that's not even our total. I think our total was 16, 17 picks. That's half of a football team. Like,
wow.
I'm super excited for the Vikings. I know a lot of teams, the Titans, they got some great picks. I didn't really keep up with the Steelers, so I don't know.
Get out of my face.
Did they?
We didn't have a lot of picks this year, which is fine.
That's okay.
We have an okay team that we need to just really focus on.
Better.
Yeah, and just condition and practice a lot more, I think, too. But shout out to 2 of my USC boys that went to the NFL. Why can't I think of his name? No, I don't. Well, Michelle likes from. From's from
never mind.
He's not from USC.
That's all right.
Michael Pittman Jr. went to the Colts. Not this guy. Austin Jackson. He's my boy. He went to the Dolphins. He's the one that donated, I just mentioned last week, he donated his bone marrow to his sister who has that blood condition. So both of them, proud of you. I'm proud of like all those guys. They're so freaking young,
Yeah.
and they really put in a lot of work and effort over the last couple of years, especially to get into the draft. And whether you get picked first round or fifth round, you're an NFL player. Like that's pretty sweet to say.
Well, and what I thought was, I liked the fact that the draft was from home, and
Same.
to see like the players at home. I loved seeing all the coaches like at their homes. Just
That
to
made me
see.
so.
I'm not even
mad.
gonna lie, Coach Zimmer had like probably the sweetest like get up out of all the coaches. His background was like this big like open fire, like this fancy fireplace. I'm like, I want to go there.
They get paid stupid amounts of money, which is
Stupid.
so unfair. I can't even talk about that.
Yeah,
but
that's a whole
it's
other episode. But
That's pretty sweet.
so yeah, let us know your teams, if you liked your picks, kind of what you thought about the draft, it being from home. I know they did announce at the draft that it's going to be in Vegas again next year, since they didn't get the opportunity to have it this year. So I'm like, maybe we'll take a trip to Vegas. That'd be fun.
We got a trip to Minnesota.
We do.
We got a
have
trip to Vegas.
Yep.
Michelle and I are trying to go to Tulsa.
And we're trying to plan a trip with my mom to Scotland.
Oh, Scotland because of
That's
Outlander.
happening next year. It's happening.
2021, baby.
I'm telling you, you watch a couple episodes of Outlander and you will want to go to Scotland. And a little tidbit, my mom actually lived in Scotland when she was in the military.
Well,
So
that's fascinating.
yeah, so she actually she says she doesn't really remember much.
I feel
of
like we
anything
need to
over
do
there,
all of
but-
it, like Scotland, Ireland.
So
That
it's
whole-
funny you say that, because my mom and I actually talked about I want to go to England and which I've mentioned before. So we were talking about a whole, because you can do Scotland, Ireland, England, the England London area. It's all kind of within. Now Ireland, you have to get on a boat to get there or fly, because you can't drive there.
But
But
flights for them
everything-
is like $50 to get from
Right.
one country to another.
Yeah, transportation's so cheap over there, and then you can take a train from Scotland to like the England area, from what I'm told. So I was like, yeah, that would be so much fun. So I'm gonna start planning it.
We're gonna start planning. Let's do
It's
it.
gonna happen 2021.
I'm not in grad school then, which I'm hopeful for, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, so fun.
So fun.
So fun catching up. We'll do another little buzz on Friday if anything crazy changes from COVID-19 updates from this week and stay-at-home orders. So we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll check back in next Tuesday.
Which is
Cinco de
Cinco de
Mayo.
Mayo. So we'll have a little
We'll have a margarita.
marg in our
Alicia's
hands.
gonna try to find a sombrero.
Yes, I think we have one.
We'll
in
do a
our
little
hand.
Cinco de Mayo history if we
Yeah.
can find some stuff and some fun facts for y'all. And bring a margarita, come hang out and listen with
Maybe we'll have
us.
some tacos or something. Who knows?
Can we get
Spice it
Can
up.
we get queso?
Yes.
Queso.
We
Chips
need
and
some
queso.
queso.
Need some bar taco in my life. That's like the most American Mexican food ever.
But it's so good.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, until next time, stay sweet, honeybees.
Bye.
Bye.
Nailed it.
Yay.
Oh, that one's like 40 minutes. That's like 38. That's perfect.